Hello guys, how are you today? So today I'll be explaining the math AMS of term 2 week 12. So let's start with the first question. They said the price of a mobile phone decreased from $500 to $400 in 1 year. They told us they need the percentage decrease in price. To find the percentage decrease in price, first of all, we have to make the equation that relates $500 to $400. So you know that $500, it is the original price, okay? We multiplied it by what? By 1 minus the percentage R. Why did we do minus? We did minus because it decreased. So remember, whenever you see decreased, you are gonna put minus. Whenever you see increased, you are gonna put plus. So $500 times 1 minus R%, it is in 1 year, so it's to the power of 1. It is equal to $400. Now divide both sides by $500. You are gonna get 1 minus R% is equal to 400 over 500, which is 0.8. So 1 minus R% is equal to 0.8. R% is equal to 1 minus 0.8, which is 0.2. So then when you move percentage to the other side, it will become times 100. Why will it become times 100? Because actually, instead of R%, you could simply write it as R over 100. So it would be R over 100, which is R%, is equal to 0.2. So R is equal to 0.2 times 100. Okay, so when you do it on your calculator, you are gonna get that R is 20. So that means the percentage decrease in price was 20%. Now, a general formula to use, it is the initial multiplied by 1 plus or minus, depending whether it's decreased or increased. Definitely, if it's decreased, you use minus. If it's increased, you use plus. R% to the power of years, and you will get the new price. So I'm just going to say price final. So a general equation would be initial price times 1 plus or minus R% to the power of years. It's equal to the final price. Okay, so we'll move on to part B. They said Rami invested $5,000. This is the initial amount. In an account that pays an annual interest rate of 3% compounded annually. So they said compounded annually and not monthly. So because it's compounded annually, we can apply that initial multiplied by 1 plus percentage to the power of the number of years will give us the price, the final price. So the equation is initial times 1 plus percentage to the power of years is equal to the new price or the new value. So the initial price, it's $5,000. It is multiplied by 1 plus the percentage, which is 3%, to the power of how many years? It is 5 years, the power of 5. It is equal to the new price, which is, we can put it on the calculator, 5,000 times 1 plus 3%. If you cannot write 3%, you can very simply put 3 over 100 to the power of how many years? To the power of 5 years. And you're going to get an answer which is 5796.37. They need it rounded to what? To the nearest $100. This is 1,000. This is 100. So 5,000. You will round it. So 9 will round 7 to 8. So $5,800. Okay? Alright, so now we move on to part C. The price of an item increased by 30% to become $117. So the price of this item before the increase was how many dollars? Very simply. They're telling us that the price of an item, we will say that the price is X dollars. Okay, it was increased by 30%. So X times 1 plus, because it's an increase of 30%, it is equal to 117. So X dollars is equal to 117 divided by 1 plus 30%. This is plus. Okay, so on your calculator, if you put 117 divided by 1 plus 30%, you are gonna get $90. So the price of this item before, pay attention, before the increase was $90. We move on to question number 2. Now, question number 2 is not easy at all. Towards the end, I will try my best to write all the equations if you want. So if I do forget, I apologize, but I hope I will remember enough to write all of the equations. So, select on the grid below the vertices of the image of ABC. So, triangle ABC is given below. We need to select the point of its vertices under an enlargement with center at the origin. Okay, whenever they say center at the origin, that means to find x prime and y prime, it's very simply constant times x and constant times y. Okay, very simply. If center is not origin, we will see in later examples how we will deal with it. And scale factor, which is k, being -2, followed by a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, let me explain this sentence. We have a triangle ABC. We need to enlarge it. Enlarge it means make it bigger. With center at the origin. Whenever you see center at the origin, that means to find x prime, it is constant times x, and y prime, it is constant times y. Scale factor, it is our constant k, so in this case it's -2, followed by a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. What you need to know when we are dealing with a rotation 90 degrees clockwise about the origin, it will change the point from AB, okay, let's say it is AB, into B minus A. So keep this in mind, okay? Now, with all of this information, and we know what are the equations we will be using, we will solve this question. So, personally, what I would like to do is I would like to take all of the points, okay? I will start with point A. A, its value is 0 minus 1. So, very simply, you will put it to be 0 minus 1. B, its value is 2. Not 2, it is -1, 1. So B, its value is -1, 1. And then finally C, its value, or the value of C, it is 2 minus 1. Okay, now we have all of the points that we need to solve this question. We are safe. Or in another term, we are stable. So the first thing that they told us above was that it undergoes an enlargement with scale factor k being -2. So the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna change A, B, and C into A prime, B prime, and C prime. How do we change A, B, and C into A prime, B prime, C prime? Because it is undergoing an enlargement of the constant, of the scale constant -2. Very simply, you are gonna multiply x and y by -2. Why? Because they said it is center being the origin. Now, remember, when the center is the origin, to find x prime and y prime, it is k times x and k times y. So, for A prime, to find the values of x prime and y prime of A prime, it's very simply 0 times -2, which is 0, and -1 times -2, which is 2. Okay? For B prime, it's -1 times -2, which is 2. And 1 times -2, which is -2. For C, it is 2 times -2, which is -4, and it is -1 times -2, which is 2. Now here, like this, very simply, we found A prime, B prime, and C prime. Now, after this, we do not stop, okay? Let me just write them over here. A prime, B prime, C prime. We have A prime, it is 0, 2. B prime, it is 2 minus 2, and C prime, it is -4, 2. Now, what is gonna happen next? After the enlargement by the center origin, they told us that there was a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change A prime, B prime, and C prime into A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime by doing what? By doing a 90 degrees rotation clockwise. Okay? Now, remember, I said above, to do a 90 degrees rotation clockwise, it will change from AB into B minus A. Okay? So let me just clear it up a little bit. We have A prime, B prime, C prime. A prime, it is 0, 2. B prime, it is 2 minus 2. And C prime, it is minus 4, 2. And we said to change it, we will be doing a 90 degrees rotation clockwise. Now, a 90 degrees rotation clockwise, what does it mean? It means that it will be changing the points from A, B into B minus A. So please remember, 90 degrees clockwise will change from AB into B minus A. So that means we will be looking from A prime into A double prime, B prime into B double prime, and C prime into C double prime. So if A prime, okay, in A prime, its A is 0 and its B is 2, that means for A double prime, its B is gonna go first, and then you're gonna take minus of its A. So we know that its B is 2, so A double prime is gonna be 2 first, then you're gonna do minus times 0, which is just 0. So you have a new point, which is A double prime, which is 2, 0. After this, for B double prime, what's gonna happen? We know that for B prime, okay, its A is 2 and its B is minus 2. And we know that it is gonna change into B minus A. So that means what's gonna go first in B double prime? It's gonna go minus 2. And then you are gonna do minus multiplied by 2 to get the other point, which is minus 2. So for B double prime, it is minus 2, minus 2. Now, finally, for C double prime, we know its A is minus 4 and its B is 2, okay? So what's gonna happen is that it's gonna become B minus A. So the B is gonna go first, so it's gonna be 2, and minus A, so it's gonna be minus times minus 4, which will give us plus 4. So the new point, C double prime, is 2, 4. And just like that, we found what? We found the new points after what? After an enlargement by minus 2 and a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. So, going back up, they said, after an enlargement from the center at the origin and scale factor minus 2, followed by a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise through the origin, we got the final points, which are A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. A double prime, it is 2, 0. B double prime, it is minus 2, minus 2. And C double prime, it is 2, 4. Okay, so all you need to know is you have to do it step by step. And if you do a small mistake, everything could go wrong. That is why you have to pay very close attention when solving the transformations. So we had A double prime, it was at 2, 0. So we will choose this point over here. Then we had B double prime, it was at minus 2, minus 2. Okay? And then we had C double prime, which was at 2 and 4, which is almost this point over here. Okay, so it's supposed to look something like this. Alright, so this is question number 2. I know it is long, but you have to do it step by step so that you will not make any single mistakes. We move on to question number 3. In question number 3, they are telling us, consider the grid below, okay? This grid, you have a point P and a point Q. They said points P and Q are given on the grid, and the PR, the vector PR, it is equal to 2 minus 2. So keep this in mind, the vector PR, it is equal to 2 minus 2. And another extra information is that XY is a vector in the same direction as RQ. However, the magnitude of XY is equal to twice the magnitude of RQ. So very simply, all they're saying is XY equals to RQ. Okay, in the first part, they are asking us about the coordinates of point R. What you need to know is to get the coordinates of point R. How do we get it and what do we need to do? First of all, we will look at the grid. We are given the point P. The point P, it's given on the grid. Its coordinates are 1, 4, okay? And we are also given the vector PR, which is 2 minus 2. So the vector PR, it is the point 2 minus 2, not the point, sorry. It's a vector being 2 minus 2. But what is the meaning of a vector? The meaning of a vector, very simply, it is you are moving from one point to another point. So, very simply, PR, the vector PR, it is moving from the point P all the way to the point R. So, if you are given the point P, and you are given its vector PR to move from point P to R, then, very simply, you can find the point R. How do we find the point R? Very simply, it is the point P plus the vector PR, it will give us R. A way I would like to think of it is that because we have P here and P here, they will cancel, and you will be left with R. So R is what we are looking for. So in general, what we are doing is P plus PR is gonna give us R. Okay, so the value of P, it is 1, 4. The value of PR, it is 2 minus 2. And very simply, the value of R, it is gonna be 1 plus 2, which is 3, and 4 plus minus 2, which is 2. So the value of the point R is 3, 2, or its coordinates are 3, 2. Now, the vector RQ can be represented by the column vector, and we need to find the coordinates or the vector points. They said they need the vector RQ. So what does the vector RQ mean? The vector RQ means from going from R all the way to Q. So if we have the point R, which is 3, 2, and we have the point Q, which is 4, 2, because you can check on the graph, it is 4, 2, then very simply, we will be able to find the vector RQ. What we knew from the previous question is that if I wanted to find the last point or the terminal point, this is called a terminal point, what we would have to do is the initial point, which is R, we will add it to our vector. But now, since we need to find the vector, okay, and we are given the terminal, very simply we will change the equation. So if the equation is vector plus initial equals terminal, and you have initial and terminal, you need to find vector, then that means vector is equal to terminal minus initial. So you're going to take the terminal points, which is Q, so 4, 2, minus the initial points, which is R, so 3, 2. So you're going to subtract them, and you are going to get that the vector RQ, it is equal to 4 minus 3, which is 1, and 2 minus 2, which is 0. So the vector RQ, it is equal to 1, 0. We move on to xy. Xy, if you remember, they said above, xy is a vector in the same direction as RQ, but its magnitude is equal to twice the magnitude of RQ. So xy is equal to 2 times RQ. So very simply, we will go to where we found RQ. RQ is 1, 0. You very simply multiplied by 2. It will become 2, 0. So just like that, you found the vector xy, which is 2, 0. We move on to question number 4. Question number 4 is not difficult. It's very easy. Here, they told us what? The pre-image, meaning they need the initial image of P6 minus 4. So P6 minus 4, this is the final image under a rotation about the origin through 90 degrees counterclockwise. You should know that what happens in the 90 degrees counterclockwise, it will change the point from being AB, the point AB will become minus BA. So if you are given the final image, which is minus BA, they need us to find the pre-image, which is the initial image, which is AB. Very simply, minus BA, as written above, it is 6 minus 4. but we need to find the initial image, which is AB. Very simply, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the opposite. So what's gonna happen now? Minus 4 is A, it will stay as minus 4. But minus B is equal to 6. That means B is equal to minus 6. So very simply, B is gonna be minus 6. So very simply, through 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation, it will change AB into minus BA. Pay attention, do they need the image or the pre-image? You are given what? The image in this case, which is 6 minus 4, and they need the pre-image, which we found to be minus 4 minus 6. Okay, we move on to question number 5. They said the pre-image, meaning they also need the initial image of k minus 3 minus 2. This is the final image under a rotation about the origin through 180 degrees. Rotation 180 degrees, it does not matter clockwise, counterclockwise, it's gonna be the same. Remember, 180 degrees, clockwise, counterclockwise, it is the same no matter what. It is gonna change the point from AB into minus A minus B. Okay, so they gave us what? The final image, which is k minus 3 minus 2, and they need us to find what? The original image, which is the pre-image. So very simply, the final image, which is A minus B, okay, which is minus A minus B, it is given to us as minus 3 minus 2. So to find the original image or the initial image, we're just gonna go backwards. So minus A is equal to minus 3. That means A is equal to 3. Minus B is equal to minus 2. That means B is equal to 2. And just like that, we found the points of A and B to be 3 and 2. Okay? We move on to question number 6. Question number 6 is not difficult, it's just a little bit long, and there's something that was not in the previous question. So, select on the grid below the vertices of the image of triangle ABC. First thing, triangle ABC, that means we have to take the points A, B, and C under a translation. So first what happens is a translation. This is the first thing we will be doing. Minus 2, 3, followed by a reflection in the line x minus 1. So this is the second thing we will be doing. So first thing is a translation given by the vector, minus 2, 3. Second thing is a reflection in the line x equals to minus 1. So first thing, what we did last time and what I personally prefer to do is to take, if I move like this we'll have more space, okay, is to take the 3 points that we will be working with, which are A, B, and C. We know that A, by looking at the graph, it is 3 minus 3. And B, by looking at the graph, its points are minus 1, 2. And C, by looking at the graph, its points are minus 4, minus 1. So let us write these because these are going to be very beneficial to us. Now, the first thing they said above is a translation using the vector minus 2, 3. So the first thing that happens is a translation of minus 2, 3. So that means it will go from A to A prime, from B to B prime, and from C to C prime. Using which method? Using the translation method. That means A is the initial point. This over here is our vector, and A prime is the final point. So if we're gonna do it like this, that means it's gonna be 3 plus minus 2, which will give us 1. And then minus 3 plus 3, which will give us 0. Okay? Then we will move to B prime, same method. It will be minus 1 plus minus 2, which is minus 3. And then 2 plus 3, which is 5. Now finally, C, if we do it also, it's gonna be minus 4 plus minus 2, which is minus 6. And minus 1 plus 3, which is 2. Now, this is the first transformation done. Now, the second transformation is a little bit tricky. They told us it's a reflection about x equals to minus 1. What does it mean when they say x is equal to minus 1? very simply, x equals minus 1 is over here, but you're gonna highlight the full line. That means it is a reflection about the y line when x is equal to minus 1. Because x equals minus 1, it is a vertical line. If you draw it like this is x equals to minus 1. So this is gonna be our mirror. This is gonna be the border of the reflection, or the extreme of reflection. Okay, there's many ways to do it. You could say, okay, my point is over here, and the distance is how much? It is 1, 2, 3 blocks. That means starting from this point, this like line over here, I will move 1, 2, 3, and this is where my new point is. This is one way to do it. But another very important way is using using one rule. Okay, we should know that when x is equal to minus 1, what's gonna change in the coordinate points? It's not x and y, it's not y only, it is only gonna be x that changes. So together x and y don't change, y alone does not change, but instead only x is gonna change. So y stays constant and x will change. Okay, so how do we change x? Very simply, there is a rule for this, and this rule, it's gonna be 2 times the x given above, which is the boundary, okay, minus a, because we know this is not actually x and y, we should label it a and b. Okay, so what's gonna change is the x, and x is denoted by a. So the a is gonna change while the b will remain constant. And to change the a, you have to follow the equation 2 times x, which is minus 1 in this case, minus a. Okay, and then b will just stay as b. Alright, so to move it from a prime into a double prime, from b prime into b double prime, and from c prime into c double prime, let us see what will happen. We know that the x is gonna change, and it will change by doing 2 times the x, which is minus 1, okay, minus the a. So in a prime, the a is 1. So it's gonna be 2 times minus 1, and you are gonna get minus 3, 0. The y will stay the same. Same thing goes for b double prime. The y stays the same. It is 5. But to find the x, it's gonna be 2 times minus 1 minus 3. So it's gonna be minus 2 plus 3, which is 1. So now we have a point, which is 1, 5. And finally, for c double prime, we know that the y is gonna stay the same, so it's gonna be 2. But the x, to find it, it is 2 times minus 1 minus 6. So it's minus 2 plus 6, which is gonna give us 4. So now we found the 3 new points, which are a double prime, b double prime, and c double prime. So minus 3, 0, 1, 5, and 4, 2. Let us plot it over here. So we have minus 3, 0. This is a point over here. Then we have 1, 5. 1 over here and 5 over here. I didn't exactly get it. Just like this. Okay. And then we have 4 and then 2. So it will look something like this. Okay. We move on to question number 7. In question number 7, it is also again another transformation. So they said select on the grid below the vertices of the image ABC. So again, we'll be using the points A, B, and C. Okay, now what happens to the points A, B, and C? First thing that's going to happen is that there's an enlargement with center at the origin. This will make everything much easier for us. And then the scale factor is 2. And then it is followed by a reflection at line x equals to 1. So this is the second thing we'll have to do. Okay, so let us look at this graph over here. I will just make it like this so we will have enough space. Okay, first of all, let us put our points. Our points are A, B, and C. We know that A, based on the graph, its point is 0, minus 1. B, based on the graph, its point is minus 1, 1. And C, based on the graph, its point is 2 minus 1. Now, the first thing that we said would be happening was an enlargement with a scale factor of 2. So that means our constant k is equal to 2. So very simply, you have to multiply both x and y by 2. Why? Because it is at the origin. There will be a case later on in the quiz where the origin is not, the center is not the origin. Okay, and we will see what we will do. So with the scale factor being 2 and it is an enlargement from the origin, what's gonna happen? You're just gonna multiply both x and y by 2. So a prime, b prime, c prime, you will get 0 minus 2, you will get minus 2, 2, and you will get 4 minus 2. Now the next thing that they said would be happening was a transformation at x is equal to 1. As we said before, x is equal to 1 is a point here, so it's gonna be a vertical line. And because it's x equal, what's gonna change? The x or the y? Definitely the x is gonna change and the y will stay the same. So a is gonna change, y will stay, b will stay the same. So again, how to find the value of x? So let's just put the new points, a double prime, b double prime, and c double prime. We know that the b is gonna be the same, so to be a little bit faster, you can put minus 2, 2, and minus 2 again, because it's gonna stay the same. However, to find the value of the x, we will follow the rule 2 times x minus a, okay? So, x is 1, so it's gonna be 2 times 1 minus a. For the first one, it's 0, so it's just gonna give us a value of 2. For the second one, it's 2 times 1 minus 2, so it's gonna give us a value of 4. And for the last one, it is 2 times 1 minus 4, we will get a value of minus 2. So now, our new points, being a double prime, b double prime, c double prime, are 2 minus 2, 4, 2, and minus 2, minus 2. Let us plug the points. We have 2 minus 2. This is the first point. Then we have 4, 2. And then we have a point, another point being minus 2 and minus 2. So this point over here. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now, question number 8 is, in my opinion, a very, very long question. It's not hard, it's very easy, but it's a really, really very long question. Okay, so select on the grid below the vertices of image ABC, meaning you have to go point A, point B, and point C under an enlargement. This is an enlargement, but with origin or no? They said not with origin, it is instead with the center point minus 1, 1. This is why it's gonna be a little bit long, and this is our scale factor k being 2. So the first thing we had to do is to do an enlargement, scale factor 2, but with center point minus 1, 1. Okay? Whereas followed by a translation given by the vector minus 3, 0. So this is the second thing we will do. We will do a translation followed by the vector. Okay? So let me zoom in just to this piece over here. This is gonna be a very, very, very long process, but it is for, it's gonna be long for me to explain it and for you guys to like watch it, but it's all for the sake of it being clear, okay? So again, we will take our 3 points, A, B, and C. We have the point A, its points are 0, minus 1, its coordinates, sorry. For B, its coordinates are minus 1, 1, and for C, its coordinates are 2, minus 1. Keep these in mind. Now, the first thing that's gonna happen, okay, it is an enlargement with scale factor what? Scale factor 2. But it is not with the origin, it is with I being minus 1, 1. So we have to keep this in mind, that it is not an enlargement with the origin, it's just an enlargement but with the center being minus 1, 1. To do that, okay, we have to follow a set of equations. So to find the x prime of any point that is not in the origin, okay? So يعني this we are doing this case because the center is not origin. Because the center is not origin, to find the x prime of any point, it is very simply equal to the constant multiplied by x of the point. Okay, we will do for the three of them, just to show you what I mean by this, plus 1 minus the constant times the x of the center I. Always, my teacher, he told us that whenever you are naming the center, name it I, so that you can follow this equation. Okay, this is the equation to get x prime. What about y prime? It's gonna be the same thing, but you only switch the x's with y. So to find y prime, it's gonna be the constant times y plus 1 minus k times y of the center. Okay, let us do it for these 3 points so that we will be able to find their enlargement. So for a prime, we will start with it. To find its x prime, it is very simply gonna be the constant, which is 2, times the x of a, which is 0, plus 1 minus the constant, which is 2, times the x of the center, which is minus 1. And this will give us an answer of 1. To find the y prime of a, it is very simply 2 times the y of a, which is minus 1, plus 1 minus the constant, 2 times the y of the center, which is 1. And this will give us a value of minus 3. And just like that, we found what? We found a prime, we found its x, which is 1, and its y, which is minus 3. We can do the same for b. b prime. To find its x prime, it's gonna be the constant k, which is 2, times the x of b, which is minus 1, plus 1 minus the constant, which is 2, times the x of the center, which is minus 1. If you put it on your calculator, you are gonna get an answer of minus 1. Now, to find y prime of b, it is very simply the constant k, which is 2, times the y of b, which is 1, okay, plus 1 minus 2 times the constant y of, not the constant, sorry, times the y of the center, which is 1, and this will give us an answer of 1. And just like that, you have the value of b prime, which is minus 1, 1. And now finally, to find the values of c prime, to find its x prime, it is very simply the constant k, 2, multiplied by its x, I believe its x is 2, okay, plus 1 minus 2, the constant k, which is 2, times the x of the center, which is minus 1, and this will give us an answer of 5. Okay, however, to find its y prime, okay, it is gonna be the constant k, 2, times minus 1, plus 1 minus 2 times 1. And if you put it on the calculator, you're gonna get an answer of minus 3. So we found c prime to be 5 minus 3. Just like that, we finished. We finished from the enlargement. Now, after the enlargement, we have a transformation with the vector minus 3, 0. So very simply, what you're gonna do to get a double prime, b double prime, and c double prime, you're just gonna add. So it's gonna be 1 plus minus 3, this is minus 2, minus 3 plus 0, minus 3. Then for b prime, it's minus 1 minus 3, so minus 4, and then 1 plus 0, which is 1. And then finally for c double prime, it's 5 minus 3, which is 2, and then minus 3 plus 0, which is minus 3. So now we found the points that we need to use, which are a double prime, b double prime, and c double prime, okay? And their points are minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, 1, and 2, minus 3, respectively. So let us plot the points. It is minus 2, minus 3, then minus 4, 1, and then 2 minus 3. So it will look like this, something over here. Okay, so that is pretty much it for question number 8. I know it's almost been an hour, but this is long. We move on to question number 9. In question number 9, it's a bit simpler. So here, the image of M31 under whatever this is, where I, the center, is 0 minus 4 and the constant k is 2. They need us to find the image given the pre-image. Okay, very simply, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write our point. Our point is M31. Now, they told us it's under the dilation. I don't think it's dilation. I think this is supposed to be transformation. Okay, so it's under the transformation with the center I. So pay attention, it's not the origin, it's center I and the constant k. So they need us to find the new points. It's like we did in the previous question. So to find the x prime of m, we're going to apply the rule constant times x plus 1 minus constant times x of I. And to find the y prime, it's going to be constant times y plus 1 minus k times y of the center. Okay? So very simply, to find the value of x prime of m, it's going to be constant 2 times 3 plus 1 minus 2 times xi, which is 0. So we're going to get an answer of 6. And then finally, to find y prime, it's going to be the constant, which is 2, times y, which is 1, plus 1 minus 2 times the y of the center, which is minus 4. And we will also get an answer of 6. So very simply, our answer is 6, 6. We move on to question number 10. This question is not long, it's very easy. The image of A. So this is our point A. It is 2 minus 3. They said it's enlargement with center. خلاص, whenever you see center, you know it's very easy. X prime is equal to kx and y prime is equal to ky. Okay, this is a y. So the scale factor is 2. So very simply, you're gonna do an enlargement with scale factor being 2. So it's gonna be 2 times 2, which is 4, and minus 3 times 2, which is minus 6. So over here, we have, not 2, my bad. We have 4 and minus 6. We move on to the second part. They said after the enlargement, we got the image A prime. They said that this image A prime undergoes a translation 1, 5. So the vector is 1, 5 at A double prime. So we need to find the value of A double prime. Very simply, what we are going to do, we're going to do 4 minus 6. We are going to add it to 1, 5, the vector. And we're going to get the point to be 5 minus 1. So very simply, A double prime is 5 minus 1. We move on to question number 11, a very simple question. They told us the first term of an arithmetic sequence is minus 4, so A1 is equal to minus 4. The common difference is 2, so D is equal to 2. And the sum of the first 20 terms, they need us to find it. Very simply, there's many ways to do this. There's either the really, like, one equation, which is very long, or you can do it in 2 separate ways, and you will find the answer, like, it will be the same. So, personally, what I would do, I would use the 2 separate ways. First of all, I know that the sum of the terms, it's going to be n over 2 multiplied by a1 plus an. I have n, I have a1, I don't have an. Let me find an. Very simply, to find an, it is going to be a1 plus n minus 1 times the common difference d. So an is equal to a1, which is minus 4, plus 20 minus 1 times the common difference d, which is 2. You put it on your calculator, you will get an answer that will give you an is 34. So now, you want the first 20 terms, so it's going to be 20 over 2 times a1, which is minus 4, plus an, which is 34, and you will get your answer, which is 300. So the sum of the first 20 terms in this sequence is 300. We move on to question number 12. Okay, this question, it's a different type of sequence than what we learned. It is called Fibonacci's sequence. What does his sequence state? His sequence states that, okay, the first digit plus the second digit will give me the third digit. Then the second plus third will give me the fourth digit. Then the third plus fourth will give me the fifth digit. So it's just like all in general a big spiral. If you search up Fibonacci's sequence, you'll see that it's a spiral. And so basically to find the answer of this question, it's gonna be 9 plus 15. Put it on the calculator. You will get 24. Okay, so we will move on to question number 13. Given an arithmetic sequence with first 4 terms and a common difference of 6. First thing they told us is they want us to find the 21st. I don't think you write it like this, it's 21st. That's a spelling mistake. Not even a spelling mistake, a grammar mistake, okay? So please guys, it's not 25th, it's 21st. So very simply, to find the 21st term, it's gonna be A21. It is equal to A1 plus n, which is 21, minus 1 times the common difference d. So it's gonna be A21 is equal to A1, which is 4, plus 21 minus 1 times the common difference d, which is 6. You put it on the calculator, you will get an answer of 124. What is the sum of the first 21 terms? Very simply, we will apply the rule n over 2 times A1 plus AN. N is 21 over 2 times A1, which we know is 4, plus AN, which we found to be 124. So put them on your calculator. Okay, I will just do this one on the calculator. 21 over 2 times 4 plus 124. You will get 1,344. So 1344. We move on to question number 14. You need to complete the sequence. As you can see, from 15 to 21, you're jumping 6. 21 to 27, you're jumping 6. 27 to 33, you're jumping 6. So most likely, you're going to be jumping 6. So it's going to be plus 6, 33 plus 6. So it's going to be 33 plus 6, which is 39. We move on to question number 15. The first term of an arithmetic sequence is 12, and the common difference is 5. They need us to find the 51st term. So A51 is equal to A1 plus 51 minus 1 times the common difference d. So A51 is equal to A1, which is 12, plus 51 minus 1 times the common difference d, which is 5. So 12 plus 51 minus 1 times 5, put it on your calculator, you will get an answer, which is, let me just put it. You will get an answer which is 262. So we move on to the next question, which is question number 16. They said round 0.021439 to 3 decimal places. So you take, this is not a decimal place. After the decimal, so 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place, 3 decimal places, you see the number after. It's not greater than 5. It's not 5 or more. So it will not be rounded. That means our answer is going to be 0.021. Okay, we move on to question number 17. They said, what is the number of significant figures? Okay, here significant figures is a bit confusing. I'll tell you what. Any zeros before the number, okay, they are not important. Any zeros inside the number and after, they are very important. Okay, so significant figures in this case, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is gonna be 4 because after these, after the trailing zeros, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures. We move on to question number 18. It's the same thing. Any zeros before do not count. Any zeros after do count. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 significant figures in this question. Move on to question number 19. They said round this to 3 decimal places. Very simply, to round it to 3 decimal places, it is going to be 1. You're not going to take this, sorry. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be here. So you see the number before, it is 5. 5 is greater than, so it's, sorry, it's 5 or more. It is 5, okay? So it will be able to round the 1. So it will round the 1 into a 2, so it's going to be 0.032. 0.032. These are very easy questions, okay? They're very easy, simple marks. Okay, suppose that the exchange rates for $1 are as shown in the following table. Convert and fill in the blanks with your answers. Okay, they told us that $1, it's equal to 0.59 pounds. $1 is equal to 0.79 euros. $1 is equal to 1.3 Canadian dollars, and $1 is equal to 125 yen in Japan. Okay, so they need us to find $320 in Canadian currency. Very simply, when you're switching from dollar into a different currency, you will be multiplying. So $320, we're changing it into a different currency, so we will multiply it, okay, by 1.3 and put it on the calculator. You get 416 Canadian dollars. Now, when you are changing from a different currency to dollars, you are gonna be dividing. So 316 euros, you divide it by the value of euros in dollar, so divided by 0.79, it is gonna be equal to $400. Okay, then 158 euros, we need to change it into Great British Pound. This question is not tricky, it's just long. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna change the euros into dollars. So 158 euros, to change it into dollar, you are gonna divide it by its value in dollars. So divided by 0.79, so it's equal to $200. Okay, now that you have the dollars, you can change it into the British pound. To change from dollars into a different currency, you will be multiplying by its value in dollars. So times 0.59, you will get $200 to be 118 pounds. Okay, we move on to the last question. They are changing from the British pound into Japanese yen. So very simply, we're gonna take 354 pounds divided by its value in dollars, which is 0.59. We're gonna get $600. Now $600, we will change it into yen by multiplying its value in dollars, so times 125, and you will get 75,000 yen. So very simply, the answer is 75,000 yen. Let's submit. Hopefully there are no mistakes. I'm praying there are no mistakes, because anything small could lead into a mistake. Thank God there are no mistakes. Really, really thank God. So let me just write the rules. So for the equations, if you want to find the percentage of anything, let me choose a brighter color, probably red. Okay, the percentage of anything, it's equal to the absolute value of new minus old, okay, over old times 100. Okay, and you are gonna get the percentage. Next thing we have is the interests. Compound interest. We have annually and we have monthly. Monthly. If we have annually, it is gonna be the equation. It's gonna be AN. It is equal to the initial. Okay, multiplied by 1 plus the percentage to the power of years. However, if it's monthly, it's AN, not A2, my bad, AN, it's equal to initial, okay, times 1 plus R% over 12 to the power of number of years times 12, okay? These are the first 3 equations. Now, The next two equations are about increasing and decrease. An increase in price, to find it, it is new is equal to old times 1 plus the percentage. If it's a decrease, then new is equal to old times 1 minus the percentage. Okay, very simply, that is it. Now, for the transformations. Okay, if we have a transformation with the center being the origin and a scale constant k, to find x prime, it is kx, and to find y prime, it is ky. However, to find a transformation under center I and constant k, to find x prime, we apply the equation, which is kx plus 1 minus k times xi, I being the center, and y prime, it is ky plus 1 minus k times yi. Very simply, that is it. For the rotations now, I'll choose a different color. Rotations, we have, if it's 180 degrees, then it's gonna change from A to B. It will change the A to B into minus A minus B. If it is 90 degrees, it could be either clockwise or counterclockwise. If it's a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise, then it will change the AB into what? Into B minus A. And if it is counterclockwise, if it's 90 degrees counterclockwise, then it will change the AB into minus BA. This is all the equations we need for this AMS. I hope it's good enough. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.